Chapter 6 She is weak. Max POV. Terry gasped beside me. She was bloody and battered. I could see all her bones sticking out on her back. She was only skin and bones and had so many scars and bruises, old and new, that I could not even count. Her legs were like two bones, and I was unsure how the little wolf walked up there. All the cuts were infected. It takes a lot for us to get infected like that. It only showed how weak in healing she was. I could not accept her. She would kill me with her, and my pack would not survive without an alpha. They did not have a future alpha yet. My lineage would disappear. Why is she not healing Max? I heard Terry asking. Because she is weak. Dr. Paul looked at me. Does she have a wolf? I looked at Terry. He might have the answer. I had not felt her wolf yet. I think so. She asked me if we would be traveling in wolf form. Dr. Paul started to explain her injuries. By the look of the cuts, they were inflicted by Silver. Her wolf might have become very weak with it. I will run some tests. Does she have a mate? The closeness might help. Dr. Paul was very professional and did not bluntly say his thoughts. Of course, he already had figured out she was my mate by my early reaction. But I could trust him not to spread anything outside this wing. I still needed to talk to Terry. I did not know if she had come willing or forced by him. Suppose she had a mate or a lover back at Woodland Pack. I want you to run all the tests on her, a deep checkup. Look for wolf marks and everything else. Help her heal. I had to leave. I could not be in the same room as her anymore. I left for my office on the first floor. I poured a drink and massaged my forehead. Aries was trying hard to break our wall. He was a handful when he got like that. I knew my mother would be an excellent person to go to for advice, but I could not go to her. She would back Aries on it, and both would start a revolution against my thoughts. I knew what was best for the pack and sure was not that corpus lying upstairs. I would help her heal and reject her once she was feeling well. I knew if I did it now, she would die. She seemed innocent enough, and I do not kill innocents. 2 hours later, I heard a knock on the door, and Dr. Paul and Terry walked in with a file. Alpha. I cleaned and dressed all her wounds and gave her something for the fever. He put the file on my desk. Here are her results. Her lineage will take a few days to come back from the lab. She was unmated and had no wolf marks. I am sure if Aries were hearing it, he would howl in satisfaction. His little mate was waiting for him and never gave herself to another wolf. Too bad I blocked him. As you can see, she is severely underweight. She will have to gain some weight to help her wolf recover. She indeed has a wolf, but she is fragile, and I could not reach out to her. There was a high amount of silver in her blood, and I gave her something to help clean it. But that is as far as I can go. Her wolf must do the job. Paul scratched the back of his head. The wolf must be suffering. If you allow me, I would like to call a few healers to remove her pain. I would do it myself, but the amount of silver is high, and I will need help. I did not want anyone from the pack to know about her. Paul and Terry were already plenty. No. Thank you, doctor, that would be all. Dr. Paul gave me a pierced look but did not try to argue with me. I will return in the morning to change her dressings and apply the medication. Call me if something happens during the night. He bowed his head and left, leaving Terry behind, and somehow, I knew he would lecture me about finding mates. I know you don't want to hear anything else tonight. But I gave him a murderous look, cutting him off. I don't, Terry. I'm tired. And I want to rest now. But, of course, he would not shut up. I saw your look upstairs and sensed your irritation, Max. You don't want the girl. But we both know Aries does. Paul thought the long journey might have affected her. Julie wasn't fit to travel, and her wolf might not resist for long. Let Aries take full control and heal her as you cannot. He is in his territory. He won't hurt or scare anyone. I shook my head. You don't understand, Terry. If I let Aries in control, he will mark her to make sure I won't be able to fight the bond and reject her later. If I mark her now, she will be strong and heal fast. He knows it. Max POV. It was after breakfast, and my mind was going a million miles per hour when I heard a knock on the door. Gare bowed his head, giving me an envelope. Alpha. That is the list of the people we are taking, and Beta Terry left at sunrise. Everything is packed and ready to go. I was glad I had Gare, my head warrior, with me as Terry left. My thoughts were fuzzy, and this goddammit wolf trying to break the wall in my mind was not helping. Perfect. You and I will be traveling back in wolf form. It will be much faster. Select 2 men to come with us. I will go negotiate with Alpha Michael. We might get there at the same time as them if we run fast. I knew I could trust Terry to get that girl into the pack without raising any bells, but still, I had the urge to make sure things were quiet. The run will be good for me to put my thoughts in place. I got to Michael's office and wanted to rip his head off for being responsible for that girl's dreadful living conditions. He was smiling at me like he had won the lottery. He had the 3 she-wolves to bargain for, thought he had me. But he did not know I was better at this game than him. Alpha Michael. Here is the list of people we are taking. He was so useless that he did not even open the envelope to check the names, and I was glad. I did not want to discuss the girl that I had already taken. Thank you. Won't your beta join us? My beta already left early this morning to do some business. He was such an effective alpha that he was unaware of it. Everything was out of his control. Now I heard there is resistance with 3 of your warriors that I am taking. That is what I want to discuss. The motherfucker smiled. I will allow the 10 warriors I am leaving with you to train yours while they are here helping with the rogues problem. If you think I will allow those 3 highly skilled men that have found their mates to join your pack, think again because it won't happen. Michael made a displeased face, his smile long gone. If you aren't happy with my generosity and will say they are from the same rank, the she-wolves are not entitled to follow their mates. I'll be glad to bring your unhappiness to the council, and we can discuss with them to settle the matter, as we both know the she-wolves that were forced into work wish to leave. Michael got white. Of course, he did not want the council's eyes over his pack and found out how he was running it to the ground and was a lazy alpha. He shook his head. That won't be necessary, I smirked at him. I didn't think so. He should be glad I will allow my men to improve his pack skills. I mind-linked Gare to get everybody into the transportation, including the 3 she-wolves. I was sure my men would travel happier now that they did not have to become permanent members of this hell because they wanted to be with their mates. We put our clothes inside the car outside the pack house and shifted. We would be going straight to the pack. There was no need to carry clothes in our mouths. It would only slow us down. We started our journey, and I left my walls up. I knew that was not nice to Aries. He loves to travel. But I had to be alone. He would have to stay put a little longer as he would be whining the whole time, saying his mate should be traveling by his side as he was the only one fit to keep her safe. I ran fast, and the boys were having trouble keeping up. It was like I had something forcing me and did not let me slow down. We crossed the borders, and I felt my pack's happiness that their alpha was back and they felt safer. All the welcoming wishes were coming through the mind link. It was fulfilling. I was a killer. I loved the war as much as Aries did. The safety and happiness of my pack were everything to me. I would never hurt them. Then I could not accept that little wolf as my mate and Luna. My pack deserves better than that. My mother was an excellent Luna till my father retired, and I had to do even better than my father. It was dark, and I could hear all the chatter in the dining hall. The boys shifted, looking exhausted from the run, but I went straight to the pack house and climbed the stairs to my wing in wolf form. The whole 6th floor was the Alpha's wing. The bedrooms were very spacious and had a kitchen and family room. I blocked my senses. I did not want to smell her, not yet. I shifted back as soon as I got to my room and had a quick shower. When I was about to mind link Terry to ask about the little wolf, he opened my double doors, panting. "You got to come with me. Something is wrong." I followed him to another side of the wing. At least he had obeyed me and put her far from me. We stopped outside my old room before I became an alpha. I looked at him, and he knew exactly what I was thinking. Why did he put her there with so many rooms available? When Terry pushed the door, the smell of death hit me so hard. She didn't smell like that when I left her. She looked small, curling like a ball on my old bed. The she-wolf was pale and frail. I already mind-linked the doctor. He will be here soon. The feeling that she was sick was overwhelming, and a feral roar came from my mouth, shaking the room. Terry and Dr. Paul that had arrived in the room fell to their knees, baring their necks to me. Aries was fighting to take control, and my eyes were shining. "I need to examine the she-wolf alpha." I heard Dr. Paul's voice and pushed Aries away. I looked at him with my green eyes and nodded. He strolled toward the bed and moved her to lie on her stomach. With scissors, he cut the back of her long-sleeved top and jeans, revealing the cause of the rotting smell. Julie had never felt so happy to be mated to an alpha, but what had happened to her? Leave your comments below.